Hello, hello.
Are we on?
I think we're good to go. I just can't find my face. There we are. Yay. We're live. We're live.
We are live. Welcome, everybody. If you are here joining us, you know us, Angela and Grace. Welcome to our podcast channel. And today, I have been itching, this topic is really, really cool. And I think it can relate to every woman who has a small business or big business. Doesn't matter as long as it's a business, or doesn't have to be a business. It can be like a group club or something like that, or a small hobbies, like especially for new moms are getting together, so the word is one word, collaboration. What is
Yes.
collaboration? To me, if you ask me, it's currency. Currency mean doesn't always mean have to be money. It means it's the flow. Collaboration is the flow of connection with human connections. That's one meaning. And other one is collaboration currency is the flow of service. Like, how can I serve you so I can learn from you? Or how can, or vice versa, right? And then you feel like whether you click with that person and then or not, it's up to you. But at the same time, it will also challenge you. Are you basing your perception on judgment negatively, or judgment versus meaning like you observe first before you judge? But when you judge, everybody judge, right? You judge, is it based on your safety, or is it based on fear, or is it based on what can you learn from that person, or by asking that person what can you learn from that person instead of judging negatively. So those are the meaning that I attach to currency. Like, currency doesn't mean always money, is the flow. What flow or energy you're gonna bring into that space, right? So, and at the same time, when you really click with that person, you feel excited, and it's like your reflection mimics that reflection with that person, and you both smile, and you're just like, okay, you're the right person. I don't have to explain my soul to you. You just read me, like, if you're that person, yeah, welcome to this topic, because we're gonna go really dig deeper and deeper to it. And sometimes we can talk other things that also correlates with collaboration is the currency. So, Angela, what do you think about our topic today?
Oh, I love it. But first, I just want to tell you how much I love your outfit.
Oh, thanks, because it's
So
getting
good.
cold.
You're all dressed up so nice. Oh, I love this topic because I was just actually searching around looking for some collaboration groups to do some stuff.
Mm.
And when she said, let's do that topic of collaboration, I thought, oh, that's so smart. Plus, our channel is called the Sisterhood. And so supporting and working together with other women, like this is huge. So
Yes.
we both, well, I have my own other private podcast called Create, Heal, Shine, the podcast. And then we've got the Sisterhood. And then you used to have one and you're firing it back up eventually. But
Yes.
tell us all about when you had your podcast
Oh,
before.
when I started my podcast, and I was like, you know what? I know it's also about me, but what I wanted to do is I don't like it to be a one man show or one woman show. I wanted to collaborate with people. Hey, you want to collaborate with me, and let's interview each other so we gain feedback, not only feedback, but also experience. And through that experience, because I wanted to build my own confidence. My first podcast sucks, it's like, it sucks. Like, I was so nervous, and I still have papers and notes, keynotes, making sure, and I was watching the time, and then and then I noticed, like, the person that I'm interviewing also was doing the same thing. And then we had to remind each other, hey, that was way too long. We promised 20 minutes. We went
We do
all,
that sometimes though. We say, okay, let's keep it at 45 minutes or so. And we're like
yeah,
an hour and 10 minutes in because we can't stop. We're so
yeah,
excited about the topic or whatever.
yeah.
But
Exactly. So yeah, and then the more you do it, the more you get better, and we stuck to 20 minutes. For some people, they're more experienced than me, so I rewatch my podcast. It's like, oh, I think I should have be more mindful of my time. That way, it's more professional, and then at the same time, there because different people that I interview has different preference. At the same time, also I need to let them know my preference because it's my channel too, right? So and yeah, so collaborating with them, there's a lot of learning back and forth from each other, and I love collaborating with people who don't have the energy of jealousy or backbiting, stuff like that. And
Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
can feel that
yeah,
through.
so it's hard to really, like, you really have to be selective in who you interview or collaborate with, because it will ruin your reputation and your brand and who you represent as you, if you are collaborating with a person with no. Oh yeah, those are.
Okay, so there's Grace through Journey, and you'll see that blue third video in. That's her and I
Yes.
doing our episode together called Knowing Your True North with
Yeah.
special guest Angela Neufeld. Isn't
Yeah,
that so?
how long ago
That
was
was
that?
that was an amazing episode, actually. I want to download that and add it to this channel because it
Yeah.
was so
Or we
good.
can talk about it again if you want.
Yeah, that was a really good 2 years ago.
2 years
And
ago. Yeah, we went through a lot of stuff 2 years ago. That's
we
why
went through a
I
lot
put it on
together. That
hold.
holy moly.
Yeah, that's why I put it on hold, because I went through my divorce, and I lost my dad, I lost my marriage, and I lost my fiance. So it's like, okay, it's time for me now to like just hold on. Collaboration with those people, I will come back to it. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes you have to really get
Yes, you're
back to your,
permitted to have a break at
yeah,
any
have a break and heal, because you cannot really focus on interviewing people. In the back of your head there's, like, you're not really healed yet. So yeah, so here I am,
time.
I'm back. Woohoo.
Woo! So, and not only that, but we started talking about something right before we went on about when you were doing that podcast, how you had to hide yourself
oh,
and you weren't even able to
oh yeah.
be completely authentic with everything you were doing
Yeah,
to
the
your
okay.
own family.
Yeah, exactly. When yeah, and Angela just mentioned that I was hiding, meaning I was actually more like hiding in my office, which is my son's bedroom in there, instead of my instead of my office. So part of my son's bedroom, I turned it in a little bit into my office, but I do have my own studio, because my son's bedroom has uh, a door and you can lock it, right? So I had to lock that because my ex wasn't really in charge, I mean, in support of my coaching services. So whenever I wanted to interview someone on my podcast, I would either time it when he's not home, or I would time it like, he's working in the garage. I just lock the door and I would have a note, do not disturb. But I didn't want him to know what I'm talking about, because it's so much distraction that sometimes I lose focus, because whenever he passed by, I feel like I'm not enough. So I have to really not welcome his energy in order to fulfill who I am and not betray myself anymore. I keep fighting that in our marriage. I keep fighting it. I'm not going to betray myself anymore. I'm not going to compromise my authenticity over any relationship. There was that time that I would say and promise myself, I don't care if you're my spouse. If you emasculate me, I will protect in however I can to protect my inner peace and my authenticity. Because if I don't protect my authenticity, because sometimes you lose loving someone if you betray yourself, you know,
Mm.
and then that person's taking your love for granted. And that's what happens to my marriage. Anyway, I wrote that in my book. It's coming up. And speaking of collaboration, a woman found me here in Vancouver Island. She said, We need you to collaborate with us. We have a woman networking event and we'll pay you for a speaking gig. I was like, really? Like, yeah.
Oh, that's
So yeah,
awesome.
so it's
Congratulations.
thank you. So it's coming up this November 2nd in Nanaimo. I'll be speaking mainly on emotional intelligence, on different aspects of life. And yeah, so that's my specialty. So I'm excited collaborating with these different women. Who knows
Awesome.
where it's gonna go, right? Yeah. So I
Yes.
miss that. I miss speaking in public and all that stuff. Yeah. So just to encourage you guys, like never give up on who you truly are. Protect it because no one else is like you. You're unique. You can't always please everybody, even though if that's your spouse. You need to please yourself. You need to rescue yourself. You need to always pay attention who you truly are. Because if you put yourself last, that's not being real you. Who's gonna be your backup plan if something happens to you, right? Yeah, and Angela, you went through a lot too. So yeah, to get to where you are now, it's huge.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, that's for sure. But thank you so much for sharing that because I'm sure other people can resonate with the fact that they're sitting in their office or their room, trying
Mm,
to do something and work on something for them that they're not always feeling supported with or feeling judged by and
yeah.
trying to do stuff that they know that they're feel called to do. And then there's somebody sitting there doing that because I totally can resonate with that. Years
Oh,
ago when I first started stuff and back then it was like 15 years ago when I started coaching and I was business coaching at the
oh
time.
wow.
And no, but like everything was so new then.
Yeah.
And and everyone was like, "Oh, that's not gonna go. That's like a fad. That's like a phase
Yeah, I know,
where
right?
like the internet's blowing up with courses and coaching and everything."
Yeah.
So don't, like she said, don't give up on your dreams and, don't be shy to be bold and say, this is what I'm doing. And I don't really care what you think. It doesn't matter what you think. What matters
Mm-hmm.
is that I'm aligning with who I truly am. And if I'm called to do this, I'm going to do this. And I
Yeah.
was doing that with working, like on the
Yeah.
side, trying to, do all this stuff, plunking away. And I can look back and think at all the amazing people that I met and where they
Yeah.
are now. Like some of them gave up and some of them are just huge
Yeah.
from way back when. And it's just so interesting of all the people I met. And now I'm trying to focus on doing a bunch of different things, but it's still all the similar. And I was thinking about somebody that I had met way back, and I can't remember what her name was. And I was looking around trying to, Google words that were similar to find her, and I couldn't. And I just thought it was just so neat that we're talking about collaborations
Yeah.
because I was in this summit where all these speakers were talking. And oh, sorry, turn my heater off. My feet are burning. So, so I was doing the summit thing with her, and that's why I can't remember who it was. But anyway, I wanted to remember who that was so I could go see what she was up to now.
Yeah.
But those are the kinds of things that I'm moving towards now and you're moving towards and doing all these speaking things. And our purpose and our mission might have changed,
Yeah.
but as you grow, that grows with you. So
Yeah.
it's okay to
Mm.
pivot. It's okay to change directions. It's okay because now, I I'm a professional counselor, and so I'm trying to incorporate all the tools and resources and things that I've learned through doing that, but pivot to more of like a facilitator, coach,
Yeah.
lead in that aspect, right?
Nice.
For like, I feel like it's honestly, I feel like it's more than just coaching and
Yeah.
counseling women going through stuff. I feel like this is like so big, and
It
I feel like
is.
it's like a movement, honestly. Like
It is a movement.
it's just growing and growing, and there's just so much need for that.
Yeah.
And I just think that the more that we work towards joining forces together, it's so much more powerful than plunking away in a corner, worrying about what people are thinking about you and worrying about who's judging you. Like, who cares? Because they're obviously not doing anything with their life
Yeah.
that is aligned with who they really are. If they're doing that to thinking that of you, or maybe, honestly, maybe you're imagining that they're even doing that, because I'm sure there was times where before where I was thinking, oh, everybody's not believing in me, but maybe I was just not believing in myself.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
maybe I heard a few things and then your mind rolls and you're going with this. And,
Yeah.
I've grown a lot since then. I have a lot more um,
Experience now.
experience and
Yeah.
around thought work and mind work and things. So now I could care less. Like I, I put pictures out of
Woohoo.
my chest split open so people could see
Oh my God.
reality.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and when that documentary comes out, there's going to be some graphic footage in there. So,
Oh,
like,
that.
this is all peeling away the layers of
Yeah.
yourself. You know what?
Yeah.
When you do that, when you're willing to risk everything, it's so freeing. If
It
you're willing
is.
to risk all judgment, all criticism, everything, and just let go and be who you want to be and do what you want to do and work with who you want to do and do the work you want to do, it's just so powerful.
It is. I mean, when you just said that if you're willing to risk everything, that just gave me a thought. Like, I remember I had enough of not being supported by my ex. So I sat in the front yard, my beautiful lake home. I sat there and I look at my home with that beautiful door that I manifested with him. And I was like, like, I think I'm gonna be willing to risk this. I'm gonna end this marriage, and I and then it felt like when I ended the marriage because I had enough, I faced his, there was like infidelity and stuff like that, betrayal and all that. I'm not gonna go so much in details. And I I condition myself to take that risk. And you know what it feels like? It feels like you entering into a new portal, into a new reality of the unknown. And part of my human,
Yeah, totally.
part of my humanness, I'm gonna swear here, is saying, fuck, it's like, I'm like, oh, what did I just did? But at the same time, my heart said, move, 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 focus on moving, don't look back. Because if you look back, you lose your focus of taking that risk. Because when you're focused, clarity is starting to come in, and every forward step you go, even if it's just little bit and you're shaking, you're crying, it's like going to the bridge and there's nothing to hold, and it feels like the one you're holding is like about to break, and you just part of you saying just go fast with the momentum. If you go too slow, you will go with it and break everything. So you just go with such momentum and trust your heart. What is your pace? But can you go a little bit faster with the momentum? Like condition yourself, move, move, move. And then the more I moved, there was like glimpses of guidelines from God or universe showing you, giving you the right person to connect with, the right people to collaborate with. Sometimes the universe or God will ask you, how much do you want today? And I was like, because your finance is running out when you're moving to the unknown. It's like, it wouldn't be nice if I have this much, and suddenly the money shows up. It's like, wow. So everything is already provided for you when you actually be true to yourself, to the taking the risk, like you said, taking the risk, because the other side is also your next version, your healthiest version of you. If the previous life is no longer working for you, especially when there's no love served on the table anymore, you have to
Yes.
really pay attention on when to be okay to break your heart. Sometimes you have to decide something that you have to break your heart in order to heal your soul. Because once your soul is healed, then breaking your heart is doesn't hurt anymore. That means you
Mm.
learn to trust, and you learn now you have healed. Because you have healed, it doesn't hurt anymore. It's just a new normal to you, that, oh, it's for my
Mm.
soul. It's for my soul. I'm healing my soul, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I love what you said about, and as you, because to me, I just love like risk it all. And
Yeah.
it sucks that some of us have to go hit the ultimate rock bottom to be able to feel that free and be able to say, I'm going to risk it all. It doesn't matter anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
we only live once. But I feel the same way, like risk it all. And I love what you said, as you take those little baby steps, clarity will come. Take another step. Clarity will come because sometimes we just won't move because we have no clarity. But if you don't take any action, just
Yeah.
that little small thing, what can you do now? What can you do now? And yes, if you believe that it's done. Like
Yeah.
you believe that you already have what you want. You visualize what
Yeah.
you want and you
Yeah.
believe that you already have it. It's
Yeah.
done. You've put that out there.
Yeah.
You don't have to go back there begging for it to happen anymore.
Oh.
You put that
Mm-hmm.
out there. It's coming
Yeah.
and you're getting clarity as you move forward and
It's exciting.
it's exciting and it's scary
Yeah.
and it's new and
Mm-hmm.
it sometimes feels like the unknown,
Mm-hmm.
but everything that have you ever everything you've ever accomplished in your whole life has probably the most amazing things, I mean, that you've accomplished, the most things that you're so excited and proud of in your life that you've accomplished, you probably had no plan to do that. It
No.
just happened and
It happened. Yeah. I
it
mean,
just brought you just came to this place because you just we already know where we're going. We don't know where we're going, but we're going to be where we are put. Like
yeah,
you
well,
can,
that's the fun thing about the game of life. Is like you try to like really plan and structure, or because you are influenced by the world, or by your culture, or by your religion, or your parents, or your siblings, or your friends. You basing your decision or on that, or your plan on those kind of influence, but not knowing that what you never thought of is actually your calling. Like, for example, did I is writing a book or being a published author part of my plan? No. You know, I didn't even think of that, because I remember my childhood dream was to be a an astronaut, or something like that. Then I wanted to be like, like just be when I was growing up, like a teenager or a young mom, maybe I'll just be a psychologist or something like that. So that's why I studied psychology. And then I didn't know life coaching was, when I explored that area, man, I got hooked on that. Then someone told me, you better write your book. And guess who told me that? No, no human being told me that. It was my angel, because it's just the spirit of God was saying, it's time for you to write your book. And then that's when I questioned it, like, why would I write my book? Like, who would listen to me? Who would want to know an ordinary girl? And then the universe or God saying, like, well, you have to go through experience in order to write an extraordinary life stories. Are you willing to do that? So that's when I went through those hardcore experiences that it hurt your heart, but it healed my soul. And because your soul will show you who you truly are. And we call it vortex of truth. Vortex of truth means it's your center, your heart center. What is in your heart, and that your heart knows already who you are. So that's why our heart is so important to connect all the time, because in your intuition, because we only use five senses, but five senses can only get us to as much as we can, or as far as we can, but those are just logic, because you don't need logic when you need to be in a grace state of mind, meaning in a grace state of mind, meaning you need to welcome the unknown, because being in a grace state of mind is the unknown of the universe, or God's world. And if you're not open to that, you're just acting in five senses. And because we have more than five senses actually that we have not activated, and those your intuition, your sixth sense, your seventh sense, your eighth sense, and I was so curious about that. So when you open your welcome, your intuition, you listen. Every woman here has a gift of intuition. They're strong. Our gift of intuition is stronger than man, honestly, right, Angela?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I mean
yes. Most
it's
of the time,
yeah,
there are some amazing, amazing spiritual people out there that are
yeah,
men and women. But women have this sixth sense,
the
and
sixth sense. Yeah, the
we're
sixth
made
sense.
different. We're made different than men. And I remember telling somebody about this or talking about this to somebody just the other day. I can't remember who it was. And I was saying how we were talking about my story from years ago about
Yeah.
my back blew out. Was that you? I
Remind
don't
me.
think so. It was
No.
somebody else, and they were like, "Your back blew out?" And I was like, "Yeah, that from all those years of I had, I was like a workhorse, and I was like
Yeah.
being the default husband and wife, and I was running
Yeah.
the whole farm, and I was running my business where I had like 17 employees and commercial and residential cleaning, and we had craft
Yeah.
fairs and animals, and oh my gosh, hay bales and like everything. And the women, when you said that, it just reminded me that the body of a woman and the mind and the spirit are so different and
Yeah.
physically not even built the same.
No.
Our bodies aren't even, I mean, there's some strong, strong women who build up their muscle
Yeah.
and do things, but I mean, even then, we're built different than men in our physique. And so when I'm trying to do every single thing that they would do, my body just failed and gave out
Yeah.
because it couldn't
I mean,
tolerate that kind of physical
yeah.
abuse.
I mean, I watched you like years ago that you were in pain. You just had your surgery and you called me over to help you with your turkeys and all that stuff. And you were really in pain, but you did it anyway, even though you were in pain. But and I look at that too, like same with me. I went through that. I became a husband and wife to myself and a mother and father to myself too. And then it make you questions whether man, this is not me downgrading man. It's just that I want to put awareness there, that awareness here that man and woman, yes, they're built differently, but I think we need to encourage men to step up a little bit to collaborate with their woman, with their spouse, and learn about each other's energy, that because woman energy is different than man, and so vice versa, and to collaborate in a marriage. I wrote this in my book,
Mm.
but you know what I did is that I ended up doing it myself, and I shared in my book how can both female and male or yin and yang collaborate in harmony. So my ex didn't, you know, wasn't aware of his role as a man. He just did the five senses, but he didn't activate his other senses to actually collaborate in a marriage. So I ended up doing it all myself, and then I started studying patterns of life of how collaboration in a marriage or collaboration and in a
Mhm.
partnership or even in your children, collaboration with children, how can parents can adjust, and because just because your parent doesn't mean you know everything. You actually, children are here to teach us a lesson as well. They are the
Oh,
greatest teacher,
definitely. Hmm.
because when I homeschooled my kids for 6 years, you know what they taught me? They taught me that they are here as a teacher. They chose us to be their parents. So it's very humbling. At the same time, they are here to empower us for the person that we never thought to be, to do, to have, or to create. Meaning, keep growing who you truly are, but get to know yourself in each of those kids of yours, because each of kids have different lessons to teach you, have different messages to teach you. So you also need to teach them too, but don't, you're not the boss of them. You're not there to control them. You're there to collaborate. We are all here to collaborate, because they're here to teach you patience. When, for example, my oldest son, before he died, what he taught me to collaborate with him is that he's a very hardcore and then witty, and then he's just outside of the box, like always creative, smart, at the same time stubborn and annoying, and you just want to like, and yeah.
That's funny.
So then I start asking myself question, what is he teaching me? Like I'm getting impatient with this. There's the word, keyword, patient. And there's another word that he's teaching me was acceptance. Can you help? Can you accept me for who I am? The way I am is I'm outside the box. I'm not a normal kid, but this is my new normal. So don't lower my normal into your normal, because that's not my normal. Can you accept me for who I am? Adjust to me. And I was like, wow. So it's very humbling for me. And then another kid is different. My second son taught me how, she was telling me, Mom, teach me how to be a gentleman. So
Aw,
yeah, so
so
he
cute.
asked me when he was at 6 years old. So I started buying him gentleman clothes. It was just the beginning, and then his character starting to evolve when he started wearing those nice suits, because it started with, like he said, I just want to feel what it feels like to wear this suit and act like one, like a gentleman. Up to now, he's still a
Aw.
gentleman. He wears that suit like in 1940s. So those are the just example. And I have twin girls. Each my twins doesn't mean they're both the same. Each one has their own character. So it's all about collaboration with your kids, your spouse. Unfortunately, with mine, after 20 years, it was good at the first 10 years, and then the next 10 years it went spiraling down. I must admit that, because it happened. And then when I met my fiance, that one's another story of collaboration of what is true love. You know, yeah. So this is just another door of reality that you're gonna open in your life. Are you willing to collaborate to the next person you want to partner in business, or you want to partner in life? Because it's not all about you, right? It's also about that person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
Yeah,
love that thought about collaborating with your kids. And I think that if you think about all of the richest people in the people that are like big people in the
yeah.
world, they don't do everything. The ones like Jeff Bezos and
No,
all those big people, like they don't do everything on their own.
no.
They collaborate with a
That,
team.
yeah,
They didn't
yeah,
create this like multi-billion dollar empire by themselves. Like
yeah.
the whole point of life is collaborating together. And a lot of
Mm-hmm,
us tend to find ourselves isolating.
mm-hmm.
And COVID did that a lot for everybody,
Yeah,
isolated everybody and made us feel so alone. And I think everybody's really coming out of their shell now and
yeah.
screaming for,
Human connection.
the human connection. That's
Yeah.
right. Exactly. And so that is bringing so much beautiful collaboration that I'm seeing all over the place. I'm seeing
Mm,
it in groups. I'm seeing it on like social platforms. I'm seeing it in my membership. I'm seeing it in
nice.
on YouTube, like questions
Nice.
and you and everybody. Like so many people are
Yeah.
doing opening up and seeing that growth comes from
Yeah.
collaboration. It doesn't always come. I mean, it can come if you're by yourself in the corner, like I said, typing away, doing your own thing, but it's going to take you way, way longer, I think, than if you join forces or find people that uplift you and support you and you have a community around you that
Yes.
is a support system.
Support system. That's right. Like, I know some of you may ask questions right now. Like, us, you can feel free to ask us questions, but there's these common questions that people ask me, like, how do I know if I'm collaborating with the right person? What are the signs? What are the green and red flags?
Yeah,
Would you?
that's a good one because there's a lot of scammers out there at the same time that want to do things for you and that are,
Yeah,
you have to use your discernment to know
that's right.
what
Yeah.
is what.
I mean, if you, Angela, have any example of that, feel free to do so. But I can give one example for me briefly. And like I remember when I was doing some creative project, let's say artwork or something like that, then I had this vision, right? Like I need to create this vision into a reality. So I had need to structure it with a deadline, blah, 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 blah. So I have, and then, but part of me is like, I want to collaborate with someone to do this with. But then I made a mistake for saying, to collaborate with someone who has the same gift, but I didn't discern what her intentions are. I forgot about that part. What is your intention or your nature of your intention to collaborate with me? Sometimes you need to learn how to ask powerful questions, number one, to ask the person you want to collaborate with, or maybe yourself, if you want to collaborate with that person, ask yourself that same questions. What is the nature of your intention to collaborate that person without sabotaging their vision and or your vision? That way it's true collaboration, because if you're doing it based on self gain, it's not gonna happen well. It may happen the events, but that person will always feel your energy that they will never do this again with you, because energy doesn't lie. So those are my mistakes, that I did not ask powerful questions to my friend at the time, that she ended up stealing my vision and posted it on her website that it's her vision, not mine. And there was no we, it became hers. And I was like, what? But the event were successful that we did it together. But then I noticed it later and I checked her website. She said she claimed it that it was her, the beginning, that it was all her. I was like, wow. I was like, so learn from the word discernment, or perceive who you're really collaborating with, because it is not good for your brand, because you need to develop that credentials also, like who you're branding. People will check your record, because sometimes they know that person, like you partner with that person, so you really need to check who you collaborate with. Be very selective,
Mhm.
and those are some of the tools. And Angela, you can share yours if you want.
Well, it's like us, for instance, I guess, we have a lot of things in common, but we also have different kind of target markets. And
Yeah,
so they're different, but they're the same.
yeah.
So we can kind of support each other and have really great topics to talk about and the biggest part in it is that there is only care, love, and support for one
Mhm.
another, of encouraging each other and watching and being so proud of the other person when they grow and have all these amazing experiences. You have to have somebody that you have zero competition, like you're zero competitive with. You
Yeah,
can even you can even have the same niche or topic or
yeah,
whatever and collaborate really well with people by doing joint ventures and stuff.
yeah,
But you have to, like Grace said, have that intention of wanting to support and help yourself and the other person at the same time,
yeah,
where you're not in competition with them. You're
yeah,
not seeing them as you're going to try and outdo them or one
yeah,
up them or anything
yeah,
like that. And I don't know. I'm a pretty good. I just have feel energy from people right away, and so I can feel that energy if I like it or not. It's harder online to know because it takes a little bit longer, but in person, it's easy for me to know.
yeah.
Um, and most of the time, I'm not burned. I've been burned a couple times
I know.
but it's probably, if I realize and look back at it, as probably my own lack of good judgment or something too.
Mm,
So there's been
yeah,
lots of kind of different things, but
yeah,
now the way that the world is and with growth, I think that, like you said, title of the whole show, collaboration is a new currency. That is the way to do it. Don't be afraid to reach out and get help. Get
yeah,
coaching. You're going to make a friend. They're going to support you. They're going to show you a whole nother market, or meet up with someone who's in the same thing. Do some stuff together. do stuff together for free and support each other. And you can email each other's lists. Like there's just so
Yeah.
many different things that you can do.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I showed you on this, we had my iPad's gonna die, but we have been doing that for a few, and we'd been doing this years before we actually ever
Yeah.
did the
Yeah.
podcast episodes together. And there was way more than that. We
Yeah.
did 2 or 3 of them at least on your
Yeah.
channel alone. And I don't know what I did with mine. I probably chopped that channel up. I don't know. I went through this phase where I just like had to like start completely fresh with everything. And I kind of
Well, that's
regret losing some of my stuff, but I thank
yeah.
goodness you have it because I'll definitely want to
Well,
download.
that YouTube of mine is under the name of my married name, so I have to mind you guys. I have my married name in there, so
No,
just
it says Grace Through Journey
yeah. So
577.
I will still change the name in there to my new name, and yes, definitely Grace Through Journey is my channel and my brand name. And just call me Grace in short because I just love that name, and it's so common, easy to remember too. So yeah, and getting back to the collaboration, it's a currency, it's the new currency. And then I remember also asking men to collaborate with me. Let's talk about men here. Hello, men out there.
Men
And
are great to collaborate with
yeah, they
because
are.
it's a great yin and yang. Like
Exactly.
I think that they're amazing people to collaborate with. I've done a few things, not as
Yeah,
many as I want to, but I
yeah,
actually
same.
works right now.
Yeah. But mind you, the reason why I also mentioned men, I did notice something about them. There's a little bit of insecurities with them too. They're similar to women that they get jealous or insecure about. Oh, she's gonna one up me, or she's too much for me that she might steal my topic or stuff. So I'm gonna do it first before she does. And I was like, wow. I just observing that. I was like, I think men are just the same as somehow with women when it comes to collaboration too. Like I think we need to relearn what collaboration is without, again, sabotaging each other, feeling jealous or one up, like you said, and it's hard to also find men that are already secure of themselves and not afraid of collaborating, but actually really welcome you. Let's collaborate. Why not? Let's talk deep talks, mature conversations,
I think
and
there's way more men wanting to do that now than there
yeah,
used to be because I get contacted all the time by people in online for doing interviews and doing
yeah,
all sorts of stuff and want to work together. And they're
that's
really
great.
realizing that that's a huge opportunity
It
and
is.
have it might work really well because you have totally different.
It's a different contrast because I love talking with
Yeah,
men actually more than women. I mean, I love women too. It's just that men, like you said, is the contrast, right? Like the yin and yang, because you actually start, like talking about their energy and then my energy as a female, and then it just blends so well. Yeah, and we still need to like like partner with the people to partner with collaboration with men and women, and not to engage with anything negativity. That way we're walking the talk of how to teach other people how to really collaborate, because it makes you question like, how did you get that person on your channel to collaborate with? How can I manifest something like that so that I can start collaborating, and yeah,
and again, I think you got to take risks and I gotta
yeah,
you got to reach out and you got to do the work yourself sometimes. And
yeah,
I haven't experienced anything negative with men, only positive stuff. And so
yeah,
I feel like I think that it's just because I'm starting to do that now. And there's a
yeah,
real difference out there now.
yeah.
And also, it depends what age too. If it's
Exact. Well, yeah, it's more like experiences
different,
for
if
me.
they're,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I, of course, we're called the Sisterhood. So I want to always be support and know that there are so many amazing women out there that we
Hmm.
can collaborate with and reach out to us. Like we'll be happy to collaborate with you. Oh,
Yeah.
like reach out to us, even if you're a guy listening, like I'm sure you have something that would be amazing to contribute because
Yeah.
everybody does, right?
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of sometimes courage and bravery to do that and be the person to reach out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, why not? Yeah, reach out to us. Don't be shy so that we get to know you, you get to know us, and then we share each other's brand and spread it around
Yeah,
like
spread the love, and that goes for
yeah,
anybody.
exactly.
Like, if you have the courage to reach out, then I'm sure you have something amazing to offer. And I mean, it might not be on here, but it might be something, some other way
Mm-hmm.
that we can support you.
Yeah.
So who knows? There's just so much opportunity out there.
And let's create fun with the collaboration too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make
And
it
don't
happen.
forget that you're doing that with your kids, your family,
Mm-hmm.
your work, your business, your life, the whole energy of all of that
Yeah.
collaboration. It's everywhere around us. I know in the school community that I'm in, it's just amazing the collaborations going on. It's so
Yeah.
powerful. That's where I just met so many good people. And
Yeah.
so I'll leave a link in this video to my membership community in school, but there's so many other memberships and groups out there and stuff, paid or free. And
Mm-hmm.
there's just so much collaboration going on in there. It's just
Absolutely.
incredible. Such a
Yeah.
great place.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
Such a great chat on collaboration is the new currency. And yes, it is. And oh, speaking of that, oh, I'll share it next time. I'll share it next time. It'll be closer to the events
Okay.
um, that I'm going to be part of. It's going to be really cool.
Nice, nice, nice.
Excited about it. But yeah, thank you. And so I will leave Grace's info below this video where you can get a hold of her and her website, and my information will be down there. And I hope that you guys enjoy the show and reach out to somebody, and just remember, don't be shy. You only have one chance at this. Life is short. Just don't hide away and isolate. Get out there and just be bold and be willing to take risk and say, I'm worth it. I'm doing this. I don't care if anybody judges me. This is,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I got to say about it.
Okay. So guys, life is too beautiful, so why not make it significant? So make it significant that you collaborate, collaborate, collaborate.
Yes. So you guys have a great day.